Guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jenny Saephan, and today we are going over the basics of highlighting and contouring. If you're interested in how to highlight and contour, or you want to learn a few new tips and tricks, just keep on watching. This video is going to be a little more of a chit chat video, so get comfortable, grab your pen, your notebook, or just you can just rewatch this video over and over again. I've already did my base. I used the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear Foundation. I love this thing. I know I talked about it in like my previous videos, but I can't get enough of this foundation. It is so good. Before you start highlighting, you want to start with a base that you've already create like a canvas, not a blank canvas. You want to make sure that you've already moisturized, you've prepped and applied your foundation and apply the coverage that you would like. Right now I'm currently wearing a more medium coverage right now. My freckles can kind of still peek through, you can still see them. Of course, if you have any imperfections, you want to go in with concealer that is a little more your skin tone, apply it before you go on to highlighting. I'm very fortunate to say that I don't have very many imperfections on my face. I do have some freckles that will peek through. Every once in a while I'll get some dark circles, but I like to make this kind of like a one-step thing. Sometimes I'll do two steps. It just depends how I'm feeling or how much time I have. If I have a little more time and I'm just feeling like, you know, I want to sit down and do my makeup, I like to use the Magic Star concealers in shades C18 and C12. The C18 allows me to add a little bit more coverage to my skin, and the C12 is my brightening where I can highlight with this. It is a little too bright, so the C18 kind of bring it down just a little bit. So when you see me use these two, it's because I just want to sit down and use more of my makeup. I also like the formula. It's great. I love it. For timing, if I am in a rush, it depends on my mood, honestly. I'm using the Too Faced Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. As you can tell, I love this thing. So to begin highlighting, you want to bring the high points of your face, and those are the things that you want to bring out, usually underneath the eyes, right above the forehead, down the bridge of your nose. I like to bring it down here, and I forgot what this term is called, but kind of like, people say smile lines, but there's an actual term for it. So I usually just apply and down the bridge of my nose. I get red in this area, and then just in this area, so right underneath. You don't have to go right here. That's just right underneath where I would generally contour. For blending, of course, you can use a sponge or you can use a brush. It really depends. Definitely a sponge is a lot easier to blend it with. It does absorb some products. So if you are new and blending is a little new to you, sponge may be a little easier for you to work with. So this is the part where you would want to set your concealer. You can set your concealer with translucent powder, but I like to use a banana powder underneath and anywhere that I highlighted. And then I go in again with translucent powder. So I'm going to go ahead and let that settle in just a little bit. I know I used a brush, but I eventually dust it off and then apply more powder. Usually this is the time where you can let it bake a little bit to settle in. That's what I normally do. You don't have to. You can just apply your powder and move on with your process. But I have to fix my brows real quick because it's driving me nuts. And looking in the viewfinder is just making me crazy. What's your guys' least favorite makeup part, like makeup routine? I'm curious because mine are brows, because it is just so time consuming, especially in inner corners of my brows. My hair is so fine that it's just difficult. So I'm going to dust some powder off. And then I'm going to apply some translucent powder over everywhere that we've applied our makeup. Of course, I'm using the Mercier translucent powder. can. There are a couple of ways where you can contour your face. You can use cream products, or you can use powder. Powders are great for beginners. It's not as intense and it's buildable, and if you mess up, it's powder. You can easily just kind of go in with a brush or a sponge or a brush that you were using your foundation on and just kind of pat it over when you mess it up, and then start over. Versus a cream product where you would do the contouring before you set your powder, that'd be a little difficult for you to remove it and then do it all over again. So definitely powders are a great start, especially if you are new to contouring. For contouring, you can use multiple brushes. You can use a brush something like this where it is a little more tapered and it's a little more dense, so you can kind of go in and chisel and sculpt out whatever you want to sculpt out, or you can use an actual contouring brush. This is the Morphe M523, and the one I showed first was JS3. You can use this for multiple things, but these are the ones I definitely would recommend using if it's your first time contouring and you're a little new to this. I'm going to go ahead and use the Bare Minerals Dual Blush and Contouring Brush. And I like to use these two to highlight. Of course, it's just like, this is just an extra step because you've already done the highlighting with the concealer, or you can just go straight to applying your foundation and then applying this over it and highlighting contour. Totally up to you, depends on your preference. But just like when you're applying concealer, if you want to highlight, just take these two shades and just hit the high points again underneath your eyes and your chin. You don't have to go here if you don't want to, but typically your chin, underneath your eyes, forehead area, and down your nose is actually a really great start for you. So I'm just going to turn over to this side and I'm going to start contouring. So for contouring, this is where you kind of want to sculpt out what you want to bring. Your cheekbones, want to sculpt out your double chin like I do. I'm going in with this gray tone right here, and it's a little too ashy for me, so I like to blend in with this one just a little bit. I like to tap it off just with the excess, and using this gray tone generally create a shadow or contour, whatever you would like, and then you blend it out. So take that gray toned, and then go right underneath where so the top of your cheekbones is where you apply your highlight. Right here is where you're going to apply your blush, and right here in other cases where you do a fish face or anywhere in the hollow. I don't like to say fish face, but when I'm doing other people's makeup, it's a lot easier for them to understand, for me to find like the hollows of their cheeks, and then you bring it down. And then some people mistake this and they run it down their jaws. You're supposed to go down underneath your jaw and of course up here. So it's like a 3. So kind of close to your hairlines, down, and then down here like a 3. Looks like I'm just sweeping, but I've done this so many times it's like second nature to me. So but yes, ladies, you want to go underneath here and then underneath this. You don't want to run it down your jawline. So now taking more of a fluffy brush, and I'm going to go ahead and blend out that gray tone that we've created like for our shadows and contouring. So I'm going to take this shade and this shade right here and blend it all out. Ooh, yeah. So that there's no harsh lines. So now on to bronzing. This is just kind of going right a little over where we've contoured, but not completely over it, if that makes any sense. And then just blend it all together. And now I'm just going to apply blush and highlight, and I'm just going to fast forward through this because you have seen me done this multiple times. I hope that you learned a few new tips and tricks, or if not, you know, you had fun watching this video. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and comment down below what you would like to see next. Thanks for watching. Bye guys.